Get in, nerds. We are playing Victoria 3. We are still playing as Iberia. We've got another spike in standard of living. This brings us up to middling. And this should improve cash flow because it's going to make... Basically, once you're in the 15 to 20 range, these luxury goods start to be kind of disproportionate. So let's take a quick look here and see what else is high up. So tea is high up, 7.53k. Tea is actually higher than liquor, but not only by a little bit. Fruitful endorsements. In a gesture of solidarity with the Patriotic Union, Jose Mendiola has encouraged his supporters to vote for it in the ongoing election. For the interest of all principled people, the Patriotic Union has a consistent record of excellence. I cannot speak higher of those brave men and women moving Iberia forwards under their name. He has our thanks, certainly, 30% momentum, or the endorsement would best be more specific, 20% momentum, and the rural folk get stronger. I actually think I might go with the momentum, because that's our main party, and we really need to outpass the Catholic Party. So I'm going to go with the 30%, even though it's not making the rural folk as strong as good. All right, beautiful. So that's good. So that means Patriotic Union is going to be the leading coalition member here. So let me take a quick look, because I want to see what the influential trade union production method actually, or trade center production method actually does. So where are my trade centers? Here we go. So, okay, so this is the base. Okay, so I don't get to see it until I've got it unlocked. All right, that's fine. Nope, that's not going to work. Usually, no matter what the AI says, that makes the, no matter what the game says, that makes those more profitable. Alright, we've almost finished. We've got all of our power plants built in Iberia proper, so let's go to full electric streetlights. And that should help. So, let's let a couple of weeks pass, and then we'll take a look at what our situation's looking like over there. Military statistics get advanced tactics training. I definitely want that. Okay, I got it here in the queue. Beautiful. Excellent. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Investment pool is still going up and down. Obviously, cash flow is not where I would love it to be, but it's not bad. This is a very manageable cash flow, particularly with our economy growing. And there is the election. So, we got our free reform. So I can pull... Alright, so at this point I should pull the armed forces in, because they're part of the Patriotic Union. It is going to reduce my legitimacy, but I think it's just kind of goofy to leave them out. That's definitely not going to work. On the other hand, I could leave... No, I should bring him in. I should bring him in. That's the sensible option. Alright, we are still getting ticking loyalists, which is fine. I'm not actually in need of loyalists. My loyalist count is extremely high. So I'm feeling very good about my ability to do that. Britain's going after Ashanti still. And we'll go ahead... Oh, right. I was going to look at this. Okay, so we got transportation shortages in Eastern Andalusia, Beira, and Kanto. Electricity shortages in Navarra and Alentejo. So Navarra and Alentejo, those are what I see as important. So the electricity shortages. So what kind of a shortage do we have here? We need one more power plant level. So we'll go ahead and build that. That should give us another 60, which should be enough. And then Alentejo, local prices. Demand is 17. The capacity is there. They're just trying to hire. Alright, so that shouldn't be a problem. Now, transportation shortage in Eastern Andalusia, Beira, and Kanto. Kanto does not have a railway. Okay, thought it did. That's me for next time. Beira also does not have a railway. Let's build one. What is the demand for transport right here? 193. Mostly from logging. Each level is going to produce... Does it not say? Curious. I'm going to build 2 levels. And then... So that's Beira, and then Eastern Andalusia. Railways are fully employed. Local prices... 170 demand. I think we're going to need 2 more. So we'll do those, and we'll go ahead and throw those at the top of the queue. And that should be just fine. We'll continue to build the other power plants at the same time, because those are... We have enough construction capacity at this time that we're still able to work on them all at once. We are also finally down to a reputable level of infamy, which is nice. Tiny tick down in standard of living, not sure what that's about. But we have hit position 2 in the global prestige rankings. We've surpassed the United States, which I'm feeling pretty good about. I've got another 40 years to get past Great Britain. I am going to try. It's going to be a little bit of an uphill battle. A lot of our prestige from here is going to come from naval expansion, and that's kind of a moderate direct cost. As you can see, goods for military buildings, a large percentage of that comes from the cost in ironclads, and that's just the nature of the beast. Half of it's from naval bases. Obviously, when we fight a war, it's much more from ground troops, but right now it's naval bases. Let's go ahead and improve relations with the United States. I don't want them necessarily aligning against me on stuff if I can avoid it. We'll slowly get to work on improving our relations with our other, with the other great powers. Companies are doing fine. What I meant to check was power block. All right, 8 months before we get another mandate. I think I am going to go influential trade union. I think that'll increase my influence. Having a high influence increases leverage generation, and that's pretty cool. Looks like the French and the British are fighting again. Scandinavia has formed the Universal League. Well, bully for you. Oh no, they're fighting still. Oh, interesting. They mostly haven't been doing that much damage to each other over these past few months, so that's really interesting. All right, and then we're finishing out with these power plants, and then we'll be building. We'll be power block statue maxing, and that'll be fine. Denmark doing itself a colonialism. That is what it is. Ashanti looks like it's like to break down here, but British do have a CB against France, which means France has war support protection, and it looks like Britain does not. So Britain could lose giving Ashanti independence. Empty pockets. A series of perceived poor decisions by the liberal movement has led to a notable decrease in its ability to raise money. Numerous wealthy sympathizers have quietly halted their support for the movement in its current form. We do not wish to appear partisan. Always the same refrain. The organizer paced back and forth within his office, fists clenched until it felt like his knuckles were going to burst through his skin. Occasionally he stole glances at the unopened envelopes on the desk, all of which he knew would read a variation on the same. Partisan. What did it mean? That they cared for something? That they'd chosen to do something beyond count the money in their vaults? He had something important to do, something which would improve society itself. They had a chance to do the same. In that light, how could partisanship possibly be bad? Oh, not my best line read, but very passionate. I'm going for the Grammy next year. Is that the award for acting? I'll never know. I can say perhaps we'll find alternative sources of funds, extra loyalists in Toledo, but reduced liberal movement pop attraction, or everything dies in the end, some faster than others, significantly reduced movement pop attraction. I'm just going to go with the first one. Getting some loyalists in your capital is always a nice little bonus, even if it's only a small amount. Obviously I don't need loyalists that badly, but I've got a really good political situation right now. Rising standards of living over the past few months, over the past couple of years, have really spiked support for the government. So, you know, I'm feeling pretty positive about that overall. Electricity shortages in Navarra and Baleares. Alright. Power plant's not fully employed here, so that doesn't really affect things. I wonder if I should be subsidizing these power plants, but I don't think I can afford it. Medina wants to grant us investment rights. So, now that I have a power block, I can bring people into my power block. But I don't think I want to. I think I want to keep Iberian pounds in Iberia. And that's just the nature of the beast. We're going to be keeping the money local, and that's just how we're going to do it, and that's just a sensible plan. Mining accident, another one of these. We're going to do the same as we've been doing, and say these mines are a blight on man and countryside alike, to increase the power of the rural folk. Middle stratum hops are going to become more radical, and that just is what it is. Loving this number, hopefully... but it did not stick around, so, you know, it is what it is. Alright. Excuse me. As you can see, overall national revenue is trending upward. Kind of, at least. Part of that's from minting. That's from government dividends. I wonder if it actually makes sense to privatize buildings, but I don't think the investment pool can afford to buy them. Because the investment pool is kind of maxed out right now. And I'm going to need to keep building in order to keep the investment pool from getting smaller and dragging the economy. Because I need to keep the economy growing. That's the goal. We got to outpace Great Britain. I can't just steal territory. I suppose you could steal IT. Feed that into Cuba. What if I stole... oh, man. I can't just steal IT. If I made them protectorate, would anyone step in? Ooh, there's vulcanization. That's excellent. Looks like probably not. Austria might, but I don't think they're actually going to do anything. So vulcanization gives us the new production method for tooling workshops, machined steel tools, and that uses rubber. We do not have a lot of rubber in the customs union, so let's go ahead and we'll switch that back. And we'll take some time to develop rubber sources. Iberian Guyana, we've got a bunch of rubber available here. We should have a lot of rubber available in Indonesia. So let me see. We're going to need 690 rubber, so that's about 30 or so plantations. What are good states to build in? Ooh, South Sumatra really needs development badly. What about North Sumatra? North Sumatra is doing okay. Aceh, the home state, is doing okay. Alright, so South Sumatra drastically needs development. Terminal is moderate, so it's going to take some time, but I think it's worth it to build there. Now what about Brunei? East Borneo is a little short on market access, but that's because they're not subsidizing their railways. How's South Sumatra on market access? It's bad. It's real bad. And are they subsidizing their railways? No, they're not. Okay. See, okay, so that means I can't really build these here because that means it's not going to make it to the market if I do. North Sumatra doesn't have sufficient market access. Their railways are hiring. So we'll go ahead and throw one level of railways in there. And we'll throw in 10 levels of rubber plantations. North Borneo, do you have sufficient market access? You mostly do. That means the railways are running... they're not running. Okay. What about West Borneo? Railways are not running. East Borneo, railways are running, kind of. Alright, well, I guess we're just putting all of them in Aceh and South Sumatra because that's just the only sensible option I've got. So, we'll throw these at the top of the queue. I am going to finish out the power plants first, and then we'll get building that other stuff. I'm going to throw this railway at the top here so that I can make sure that that one gets built by the time those other buildings in that same state are finished so that there's not a massive shortage. I sure wish I could subsidize my own railways in other areas, but it seems like that's not really possible. Sweden is Scandinavia is guaranteeing Dai Nam, but if I eat Dai Nam, what does it look like? Only Bali, Java, and Burma really stand against me, so Dai Nam's a good target. And in fact, now looks like a good time. Little by little, rubber barons, local authorities, and elements of the Catholic Church are divided on the best direction to shape the Amazonian peoples of Iberian Guyana. Every argument, however, is rooted in self-interest. Both her husband and her son's hands were struck red. Priests and nuns had brought canes upon the boy for dancing in the halls and reciting the old stories. The patrons and forcers believed the man had adulterated the rubber he tapped. If the men of the lash did not work them to death, she thought the men of the single god would drive their souls to death. Education is a distraction. Their hands are for labor, not writing. Extra rubber plantation throughput, salty Catholic Church, extra radicalism for discriminated pops. Or we shall make Iberians of them yet. Landowners, salty. Slightly increased radicalism for discriminated pops, increased assimilation and education access. I think I'm going to go with the second one. I don't need... I'm expanding rubber resources right now, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem. Alright, so with that having been done, now is a good time to steal Dai Nam. So what do I need for this Indochina campaign? I need 5 states owned by us or our subjects. Cambodia is a split state consisting of this territory and Siamese Cambodia. And there's Mekong, Annam, and Tonkin, which are all completely held by Dai Nam. So I think once I do this, I can just wage myself a wee war against Siam, pass that territory to Cambodia, and that'll be the process. Or no, because I need to actually unify all this Johor's whole territory, which is going to be easier if I just start stealing territories from Siam. So we'll definitely make that a medium priority. This is going to make me infamous again. How's my relationships with my subjects? They're mostly good. Only Bremen is actually high. So I think I can definitely live with going after Dai Nam for a protectorate. Once again, only Java, Burma, and Bali are actually close to standing against me. So I think I'm feeling very confident in my ability to do this. Alright, they've said no, that's not a shocker. We'll go ahead and mobilize all the armies, and we'll raise the conscripts of just the Iberian Expeditionary Force. We'll go ahead and put this force in Indonesia, and we'll sail the fleet there as well, in preparation for an invasion. Beautiful, everything's looking good there. Fritz Ritz, exiled from Saxe-Weimar. That's fun. We'll go ahead and add a war goal to, ooh, I could transfer a subject. I think that's probably the right call. I'll probably integrate Cambodia. It's going to be 4 additional infamy. Is that the right call? I think it is, because that gives me a base to work from when going after Siam. Which I do want to do. And this will let us finish out the Indochina campaign, and we'll see what becomes of that. So yeah, I don't want indirect subjects. Indirect subjects are not good. I'll throw on... And I'm going to actually add this to the primary. In addition, I'm going to ban slavery in, I think, both. And we'll throw those in the primary as well, I think, unless I see something else I want. War reparations doesn't seem useful at this scale. So we'll throw those in the primary, and hopefully that will mean they don't back down, breaking the game. Ooh, Civil War in Mexico. Civil War in Mexico. Civil War in Mexico. If I play my cards right, I could get Mexico back under Iberian control, which would be the first time in a long time. Java sides with Dai Nam. Ooh, actually, there is a front there, which means I do need to deal with that. We'll send the Royal Guard. And we'll send the Territorial Army as well. Just to make sure I got 2 armies in the area. That's going to give me a little bit of a shortage of convoys. So what we'll do is we'll increase the size of port facilities, by which I mean we'll build port facilities in eastern Andalusia. And I'm going to throw those at the top of the construction queue. Once again delaying this business with the rubber, but I need those ports to wage my war. And there's a Dominican uprising in Cuba. That's also not ideal. I'm going to send the Coastal Defense Force to deal with that. And we have a new mandate available. Excellent. Alright, so let's see what this... So I can get External Trade 2. That gets Influential Trade Center. And we're going to see what that does. So... Influential Trade Center... Produces a huge pile of influence. Excellent. Wonderful. Oh, that's massively good. I don't think I need to raise any additional conscripts right now. But trade is going down a little bit, so I need to build these ports to make sure that it doesn't. Just due to the strain on the convoy usage. Maybe we'll put the Iberian Expeditionary Force actually here. Wait, I can have war goals against Java. But they're quite expensive. Let me see. Actually, what if... Oh, man. Burma's in on this? Wait, hold on. Oh, weird. Well, I can't reach Burma, so that's pretty much academic at this point. Oh, man. No, it's too much infamy. I can't afford it right now. I can't afford it. It's too much infamy. Scandinavia sides with the Netherlands about something. Prussia sides with the Netherlands about something as well. What is... Ah, Communist Revolt. Nicaragua sides with the Mexican Empire. Okay, wait, hold on. Mexico. No! I want a subject. Nicaraguan support is not going to matter all that much to Mexico. But this is a Mexican reactionary revolt, and that's definitely not something I necessarily support. I think I might just stay neutral in the Mexican Civil War. I know it's something that I could get an obligation. Almost assuredly. Are they okay with getting an obligation? They're okay with... Okay, alright. Yes, let's get an obligation. There are plenty of uses for an obligation in this game. Alright. Iberian Expeditionary Force is not as strong there as I would have thought. Second Vietnamese Army is entirely irregular infantry, so I'm feeling extremely confident in my ability to get in there with just the Royal Guard. And obviously Cuba will be what it is, but we'll have to just sort of play it by ear over there for the moment. Oh boy, look at all these notifications. Alright. So there's the war with Dai Nam. So, first of all, Royal Guard. Get in Tonkin. Go straight for the jugular. By which we mean the capital. Force comparison here is looking just fine. We are for sure winning. How's our progress towards trench infantry? Alright, there's the Dominican uprising. It's going to be a while. And there's the Mexican reactionary revolt. Actually, as long as the Coastal Defense Force is over here, let's go ahead and put them defending the front with Mexico City on it, and then we'll worry about the Cuba situation later. Oil in a seh. Excellent. Sumatra wants military assistance. Sumatra, I can barely afford my own military. Landing progress is being made. Beautiful. Again, this is something normally we do with our main army, but I need them fighting Java, because there's a lot to do in Java. Very good. I should definitely build up oil supplies here eventually, so I'll just throw that into the queue. Bali has begun embargoing us. Well, you know, these things happen. Oh, interesting. Enemy fleet here. Colonial Marine. Oh, that's because Java used to be the Dutch East Indies. That's why they're named something Dutch. Nice. Battles are going well here. We're doing a healthy amount of damage to the Vietnamese armies. We are winning here. Very good. This is really the front that I'm concerning myself with for the moment. Getting those rubber plantations built, that's very good. Baltic United Provinces is in default, which is not ideal, but it just kind of is what it is. Alright. We're making a decisive difference here in Mexico, so that's good. We're making our force comparison really solid there. Interior Defense Force seems is not doing anything. I think I can safely move them away from Spain at present. I think I've got all my fronts adequately managed. Significant casualties have been inflicted to the Vietnamese armies at the cost of moderate casualties for the Royal Guard. So I think these battles are going to continue to go our way, and yes, it looks like they are, which is very good. Front has moved forward in Java, so that's also excellent. I think I'm going to need to put government construction on hold for the time being, because I need to have cash flow. So investment pool, step up or don't. It's all the same to me. Dominican Uprising is in default. Well, that's very good for me. Not that I have the ability to exploit it by actually invading them or anything, but it is what it is. Burma has bailed out of the war, which is not shocking given that they, I don't think, have the capacity to send any troops, since they're hemmed in on all sides by the British Raj. Against the odds, despite not enjoying full rights under Iberian law, some wealthier Dutch people have begun moving into neighborhoods and frequenting establishments they would normally be excluded from. If we want our children to have a future, this is where we should raise them, he said. I want them to live somewhere safe. She crossed her arms. Have you seen the looks we get? When people talk about safe, they don't mean safe for us. They mean safe from us. I mean, some new regulations to keep the peace, extra radicalism for discriminated pops. 2% of Dutch pops in Iberia become more radical, or they fairly earn their success with all that entails. Weaker and saltier petite bourgeoisie and industrialists. I'm going to go with the first one. I think that just makes sense with what we're doing, and on top of that, I think it's I don't want to make my powerful interest groups mad, and by my powerful interest groups I mean the petite bourgeoisie specifically, especially because they're sharing a party with my rural folk, who are my kind of my personal favorites here. Alright, we are successfully landed in Dai Nam. We've got a hold of the capital, which is Tonkin, so let's see if they've lost their war support protection. They have not, because we don't have Cambodia. That's okay though. Force comparison here is looking very good. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and send the territorial army there to improve the force comparison over there, because the force comparison here in Java is not that important. Force comparison here in Mexico is actually looking really, really good. I'm really pleased I chose to get that obligation from the Mexican Empire. And hopefully the Cuba will remain reasonable here while we handle the Southeast Asian campaign. Looks like the front has moved forward once again in Java, which is good. Wow, Java's actually got reasonably sized armies over here. That's interesting. I wouldn't have expected that. Mexican Empire is in default. Hey, you want 1.89 million. I could afford that. I'm gonna absolve their existing obligation and take on their debt. Beautiful. That gives me another obligation from them, which is just fine. I'm gonna improve relations. Java is bailed out of the war. Beautiful. Alright, so what that means is Iberian Expeditionary Force. You go to the main front. Royal Guard. You're going to invade Puerto Rico. And that is going to deal with the situation in the West Indies. And then all will be well. There is another proletarian revolt happening in Japan. Where is it? Ah, it's just in the Ryukyus. Alright, interesting. I think I'm probably not going to get involved in that. Doesn't seem like... Unless Japan wants my help. Exchange for a trade agreement. That's not something I really need at this time. Not loving the way this number has gone. But obviously when you wage wars, wars cost money, so it is what it is. That having been said, that is all the time we got for this episode, my nerds. I have had fun. I hope you all have had fun, and I'll see you on the other side.